and welcome to the Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast. I'm Amy Sikarskie, a master energy therapist and intuitive channel, and I'm here with Chelsea today, and I'm so excited. Hi, Chelsea. So, we are going to tune in for an energy therapy session, and often messages will come through as well. Again, one of the most beneficial aspects is that you will be able to receive wisdom and insights, and also a transmission of healing light throughout our session today. So, it's lovely. It's something for Chelsea and also for all of our listeners and collective. And as we get started, I will tune in and then we'll flow into the messages that come through. I'll read your energy and then we just kind of take it from however spirit wants to lead the way. We take it from there. But I want to thank you for being here with us. And do you have any questions before we get started?
Oh, it's an honor to work with you again. So thank you.
You are so welcome. So welcome. Okay, so go ahead and relax, and I'll let you know who's coming in now. So we're just going to feels so good. So I feel the energy of our teams coming in, of our support teams in spirit, and we are creating a clear connection. I see a dome of light going around your space, one around mine, and then one that connects us. I hear Archangel Michael is here, Raguel, Metatriel, Metatron, Zadkiel, and Sindolphin. You also do have the Mother Mary essence here. I see a picture of Christ, so Christ consciousness energy is here. And then I see a lot of energy that is representative of nature spirits, so nature and elements. So you are really connected and supported by so many beings of truth and light and spiritual abundance. And as we're connecting in, my guides are here also. I work with a Council of Light and a personal set of guides. And then I see your guides stepping forward, and there's about 3 of them that really come into the conversation today to support you. We typically have more than 3 master guides, but these 3 are here as the representatives of your team. So they will be sharing some of the specified information and messages to assist in our session. And let me go ahead and tune in. We'll see what's coming through as a visual for me with your energy field. So let's see. Okay, I do see a tear. It's in your auric field, probably at the 3rd or 4th level in front of your throat chakra, and it actually looks like some energy came in and poked it, like a sharp dagger or something sharp, and then it created an opening which has started to tear. And they're showing me it's like when you pop a balloon. So when you pop a balloon, all of the energy, all of the, if it's a balloon, it's the air, but for the energy field, it's all of the energy begins to leak out of it. And so I see that there's layers of your mental and emotional field that are affected. So you might have felt like, gosh, like this conversation or this project or whatever you're going through in life, you feel a bit depleted to really rise up and meet the moment. And it's a mental and an emotional aspect. So I'm looking for what I call shrapnel, any leftovers from the incident that created this. And I don't really see much, but I do see that hole. So we will, what you could say is patch it up, fix it today, and then we'll fill your aura with light. So we'll fill you back up with that light. The light that's coming in right now, there will be multiple frequencies, and they often come through as a color, and that's how I'll see it. The color that they're showing initially will be yellow. So this shows me that your sacral, I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of messages. This shows me that your solar plexus, your yellow chakra, is a little bit undercharged. And that can mess with like our confidence. It's like we have these days where we're like, whoa, what happened? I felt on top of the world yesterday and just amazing. And like I could do this. And yes, let's start a new project, let's say. And then the next day where we think, oh my gosh, something totally shifted. What's going on? And so, this is also where your sacral chakra comes in now because they do communicate. Being neighboring chakras, they support each other. And it started to seep into your self. I'm hearing self conditioning, which is an interesting term. So I'm asking them to expand on that. And they're saying that a lot of our relationship with ourself and our self worth, um, I'm hearing the word integrity, but it means something different. So I'll explain. But they're saying that it has us questioning who we are. And the word integrity is meaning like the solid boundary that you have between yourself and others. They're talking about the health, like the strength, the integrity in that way, not a moral integrity, but the integrity of your energy field, the health of it, and the health of your sacral chakra is starting to become really depleted. So I'm not sure if you've had thoughts or dreams or things come up really quite substantially in your waking state, but it's leaning towards this like moment of questioning yourself and who you are and if you're really going to be abundant and prosperous and if your goals will really be achievable. And they're saying they will. And the funny thing is, it's all because some chakras are depleted, your aura is depleted. There's just this like misalignment in your system. And this is a perfect example of how important it is to have the health of our energetic anatomy. Um, like tuning up and checking in, and I'll get sessions myself because I'm like, what could be overlooked, let's say. And so I definitely feel by what I'm seeing and getting that you'll notice a substantial shift after today's session. And I'm so excited.
Me too.
Yay. So, how does all of this information sound? I can see from your body language you're vibing with it for the video, but for those of us, or for those that will be listening on the podcast, do you want to just share a little bit?
Yeah, so that is 1000% what I have been going through. And I've definitely felt into with myself because I'm very in tune with my body and even like my energetic body. I feel off in the sacral area specifically. And I know there's definitely something there, and especially with the throat too. So when you brought up the throat, I can like the whole time I'm like clearing my throat. It's been like a pretty consistent issue for a while. I took a pretty big jump in my career. I put in my notice for my job at the hospital, and I'm going into starting my own business starting in August. So I've definitely had, even like a full week's worth of feeling on top of the world, so motivated, making leaps and bounds toward doing that for myself and having all the confidence. And then all of a sudden it's like a crash, like it's gone. I have imposter syndrome and like, who am I to do this? I'm nobody. And, just get wrapped up in all of those thoughts. Um,
Yeah.
on a mental and emotional level, I've been pretty labile. I can feel so, close and connected, and then all of a sudden it's just like I feel so isolated. So it's 1000% what you've said.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for sharing with us. And I'm definitely like, really, my intention and hopes is that this can be resolved soon. And I think it will be. And I love how your team and, my team too just took us right to this moment of what's needed right now. Um, I did hear, that phrase. I hear it sometimes, and I think it's a common term. But like, if not you, who? Like, of course you're cut out for it and ready. If not, then who would be? So, they want to encourage you that, and they're saying that, look, you've been inspired for a reason. And if you didn't take that step, you would always question yourself. And I could see you be struggling even more with regulating your energy because your aura is expanding. I mean, it is. You're growing. Like you are leveling up. It's a maturing, but it's also, like you're ready for that next level. And so, for all of the energy of you to say, I'm ready, and then if you squashed it by not taking action, they're showing that would really mess up your system. It's like, I see like all these engines running, which would represent the chakras, and then all of a sudden they start to slow down, or there's a block in one, and it's like fumbling, trying to process things. So, you're on the right path for sure. I did get an initial sense about your throat chakra, and it felt like because we do speak our truth at our throat, and you were so like excited, they're showing me absolutely no doubt in your mind that this was a decision, but you shared it with somebody, and their insecurities are what came towards you to kind of stop you and shut you down, like a projection. And that's what it was. It was this like sharp energy that came right at you, like it was thrown your way. Not necessarily did they fully understand or mean to harm you, but that's what happens when some people aren't healed, and something that we share with them brings up their insecurities. Then that frequency, they project it onto you. So we will be able to work with that today, and you can feel again like yourself, right on track. Your guides are saying, look, don't forget who you are and why you're here, and don't forget the messages, like you know it in your heart. So if your energy feels off that day, they want you to actually be able to read and to see all of your goals and intentions. So you might have written it down, but they're showing it. They want you to write it down so you can refresh your mind and look back and stay focused and really, build that confidence back up from a mental space. But today, the work that we're going to do is going to build it up at a mental and emotional space. So this would be like to maintain it, to help maintain it so you don't feel like you did um, fall off track. They show like a railroad track, and then you went to the side of it. So they want to bring you back online and really help you, because they're saying that, again, you have made this decision for a very strong reason, and there's people waiting for you in that new position that you'll be helping. So you'll be assisting, and making a great shift in many lives. Um, so we'll work with that today for sure. And then let me see what else they're showing. Of course. So they're showing me the back of your heart chakra and angel wings. And so we do have two transpersonal chakras that sit just above the heart. And when they open and we're shining, it looks like angel wings. And so they show me these angel wings, that you're an angel on earth. And that means that you act as an angel to many on earth. You could, like, I'm not talking about your soul origin here. If that comes through, I'll let you know. But they are saying, like, you definitely are an earth angel for many, and you have a very loving, warm glow about you that others are inspired by. And it's interesting because your self confidence actually is what inspires a lot of people. And you very are a self-confident person. You know who you are. And so that's why this sudden shift and hit is just so alarming. It's like really confusing is what I'm seeing, because you're like, wait a minute, what is going on? And then it can just like a domino effect or snowball from there, where you start questioning your decision. But they just showed me like a foot kicking. They're like, we're going to give you a kick in the butt. Like, you get going, you're good. It's all going to be amazing. And they're also saying, for any of the insecurity thoughts that might come up in the future or whatever, just know you always have a career field you can go back to or fall back on, but you won't have to. So, also feeling that is like a form of support. I see that they're holding you up, and just gently, as if you're on a puffy cloud, it's elevating like you're going up an elevator, and they're helping to support you every little moment of the way. Um, how does that sound? Do you have any questions that have come up from these messages?
I think I'm curious about the projection with the throat. So, would that necessarily be something that somebody told me, or would it be even like subconscious?
Oh, I see. You mean subconscious from the other person?
Mhm.
Okay, let me tune in for you. Okay. It was body language mostly, like when you're telling them and you can tell they shut down. Maybe they turn their shoulders away from you. when we're communicating with somebody and we're in agreement, it's like all of our chakras, heart to heart, solar plexus to solar plexus, sacral to sacral, are pointing towards each other and communicating. So, as a form of physical discernment, you can see when somebody shifts, that means that they're breaking that connection. Either they feel threatened or they don't agree. Those are two of the reasons. Not specifically for this conversation, I'm not saying they felt threatened by you, but the topic brought something up within them and they were not in agreement energetically to even go there. And it wasn't so much to go there related to you, it's with them. So it brought something up that really within them felt unsettling. I don't know that they necessarily vocalized their doubts or disapproval or anything negative, but the energy shifted and you would have felt that. And so here's the thing, if they would have vocalized it, you probably wouldn't have received that energetic attack like you did. Because by them holding it in, the only way to express it then was energetically and not vocally. And that energy hit you. And then the discombobulation of that, like, whoa, wait a minute, how did this conversation, go south so fast? That got your energy also taking your thoughts and your emotions to analyze it over and over. And then that hole ripped because it looks to me like you never fully got an answer. They didn't share it. So you were thinking about it or your system was processing and feeling it. And then over time, if you didn't resolve or build up your energy and seal that hole, it just starts to leak more and more. The hole expands and stretches. So you would have noticed it through body language and the energy shifting in the conversation. And this goes back for our listeners and for you, for myself, even like this goes back to really being strong in who we are. Absolutely. This is why it's so important to maintain our energy because we can come across people and their wounds can come at us and it can knock us down and over and be really confusing. So, when those moments happen, if we weren't ready for them, and then you start questioning yourself or your energy starts to wonder what just happened, it's kind of hard to stay stable and strong sometimes when we don't fully know what all is going on. So it's important to remember your strength. And I always am like, well, that was weird. What just happened? And then check yourself and say, do you feel that you spoke out of alignment for your truth? And should that conversation change your goals? So you kind of go back in and rebuild your own strength. You go back in and you rebuild your stamina and your energetic confidence. So, by maintaining your energy, even when you feel great, we consistently should have a maintenance. That way, it will help us to stay strong and stabilized for when things just happen that we weren't expecting. Another aspect that they want to remind everybody about is that our aura is our protection for these, energetic influences or experiences. So sometimes that's why, if you don't really know somebody that well or something feels maybe not in alignment or going really smooth that day, you would step back and take a step back. So we stand directly in the middle of a 6 feet circumference. So our aura goes out like 3 feet in every direction at a healthy aura, basically to the edge of your fingertips. And anything that is closer to your body isn't protecting at the optimal level. Now, if you can expand your aura out beyond, that's an advanced technique. And many people do that just naturally. They have a strong energy about them. Hopefully, it's a enjoyable frequency because when it's not, it's like, oh gosh. But so what they're sharing is like, if the conversation feels funny, you can take a step back and then it will be harder for their energy to come into you. It got into your third and fourth level, and we have 7 layers. So that means it got past layer 5, 6, and 7, right? So I don't know how close you were standing, but if your energy was a little bit depleted, it'd be easy for it to get through also. So that's something to think about, maintaining our energetic health, just so when conversations come up, I mean, I've had days where I'm like, why did I let that affect me? It normally wouldn't. And then I recognize, oh, my energy was just like getting run down and depleted. And this consciousness of their emotions or their thoughts, their projection came at me, and that's what I'm feeling. So sometimes it's also nice to say, really, is that me? Or was that somebody else's energy and their perceived truth of me that's influencing me? And this goes back to one reason why your guides were asking you to write down like your affirmations, basically who you are and your goals, so you can stay with them. And that will help you build up your confidence again if it gets messed with, which is a very human thing that can happen. So,
Is it possible for something like that to happen like over the phone or like text messaging, or would it have to be a very like in person physical encounter?
oh, it can happen over the phone and in text. Yeah, good question. You know, like sometimes like you might read a text and you're like, "Oh my gosh, what?" And like you kind of put the phone away cuz you can feel that energy hit. Yeah, sometimes like if I'm having a really full day or I'm going through something and I'm like, I don't know if I'm in a space to really deal with any nonsense right now, like anybody's projections. So there's some days where I'm like, do I even want to look at my text messages? Do I even want to go on social? You know, I have to like make sure I feel that I'm in that space because you can feel it and you will feel it even when the words don't match the energy. It's exactly like if you were in person and the energy shifts and doesn't match how they're portraying themselves to be. So it's just a natural part of human, you know, how we are, our interactions, but understanding it will help support your energy field. So messages through text, email, a phone conversation, in person, yeah. Energy can expand, or it does, it spans through time and space. So they don't have to be right there. Awesome. So let's see what else they have to share for us for a moment. And we'll definitely be working on these areas today, but let's see what else. Um, so unwinding some of that confusion at your solar plexus and sacral, it has created a unique pathway on the outside of your physical body. It looks like braids of cords that are yours. It's like your system of communication to your heart chakra. Typically, we speak through the vertical power current, but through these weaves that they're showing me like a braid, it slows the information down because it felt like your heart was like, what in the world? And so your body, just naturally, you're trying to protect your heart from feeling all of the information like in a rush kind of a way all at once. So rather it be, or whether it be, let's see, rather it being a straight, direct path, this curvature, like you would say a river kind of curves through these folds in a braid, slows it down. But what happens, they're showing me, is it becomes so uncomfortable because in the slowing down, you're feeling it still in your solar plexus and sacral. It's like a backlogging of information that you're processing. So, right now, you're processing your own internal thoughts that were initiated from that energy that came your way. So, that projection, now you're kind of identifying or questioning if you should identify with it and wondering. Um, this also speaks to the fact that you are very empathic and clairsentient being. Like you have a strong heart, your energy is sensitive, and it's a gift when we know how to work with it. Because then you can really read the room, and when you help others, when you're working with, if you're working with clients or patients or friends or family, you can work with them and really kind of feel what they're going through, but you don't have to take it on as your own because you recognize it's not yours. So then at the end of the conversation, you no longer feel it. You release it out of your field. But this was confusing for you because this they're sharing was a very personal experience. You were sharing with somebody about your dreams. They're already in motion. And I guess that's why they say sometimes don't tell people about it until it's already done. Oh gosh, it's like it's so sad sometimes because I'm like, I can't, you know, like I got guidance before. Don't even tell like your closest friends and family, but they're the ones that could really, you know, affect us the harshest way. So whether they mean to or not. So yeah. Yeah.
Would that then manifest to a lot of like physical symptoms? I'm assuming like digestive, reproductive, and things of that.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right on board there. So, yeah, the solar plexus and sacral deal with the digestive tract, so the stomach and your bowels. And, just think about the location in the body. So, if you're expending your energy trying to work through a spiritual, energetic, non-physical experience, which is emotion coming through, um, your physical body will respond. And because you're taking all of the energy and you're diverting it into another space, then you're depleting your physical body and your digestion. So, what's interesting is you could feel that your digestion slows, or it could be sporadic and chaotic. So, yeah, exactly. So, I'm seeing pictures we probably don't want to like put on the podcast. But yeah, yeah. So it's a part of it. And that sometimes when people don't address the emotional aspect or the energy, that is when it will manifest later in a chronic situation. So, but our body is so intelligent, it's very connected to our energy field, and we know all around when something's off. So, absolutely. They're showing we're going to be clearing some energy out of your heart space and your throat chakra too, related to your response to all of this. And, once we get those emotions, just give them permission to be released and you understand that there really wasn't a basis for it. Because being really intuitive, we can think, oh my gosh, I'm feeling this way. Is that a sign? And we start to doubt ourselves. But if we trace it back to when did it start and why and how come, we can realize, oh, I was just tuning into somebody else's emotions about it or their thoughts about it. And so I love how our guides showed me initially the hole in your aura. That's where it all started. So we'll be fixing that, letting some of your energy that your body's been trying to process release. And it's almost like just such a relief where you've been holding on to it and fighting, struggling internally with yourself. You'll find that your bowels will return to their proper peristalsis will be going. So your tummy might growl, but everything will get back in a flow because your body will start to relax. Your nervous system will start to relax. So, yeah. And do you have any questions for me before we start the energy therapy portion?
Yeah, that's all the messages, I guess, from my guides at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now. So, yeah, I'm excited to resolve this with you today, girl.
Me too.
Awesome. Okay, sweetie. Go ahead and just relax. You'll feel things. If you feel a tugging, it's because we're pulling, we're literally pulling on your aura and pulling stuff out. I'm getting that message. You're probably going to feel what feels like a tug in some areas. But if it becomes too intense, let me know and I can kind of slow down what we're doing. But if it feels like a pressure or uncomfortable, just breathe through it. And then the cold, if you feel a chill come in, like a menthol, so somebody rubbed menthol on you, that is where energy released from your cells, from your physical body. And of course, the heat is the healing energy coming in. So just relax. I think our guides I know they're communicating with you. So they're going to be giving you messages, whether I'm not sure how much will come through right now, but they're speaking to you, I'll say like behind the scenes. So in the spirit realm. And this is important. They're giving you messages that you're going to feel you'll start implementing them, like the next steps. So, to that, it's like if you all of a sudden get inspiration and you're like, wow, where did that come from? Your guides have given it to you. And then when the time is right, they're going to be like, hey, here's the go ahead. Boom, boom, boom. Now's the time. And you'll remember it in that moment. Gosh, I like fumbled because there's edit. There's a lot of energy coming and I can't even talk. So funny. But yeah, so we are good. Okay.
Do
So
you
you
need me
can,
to lay down?
no, you can just sit back and relax. Yeah, you're good. If you're comfy there, that totally works. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here we go. You might feel it at your heart right now. I'm definitely working at your sacral and heart chakra. And we're also working to start sealing up that hole. So I can see your guides and angels working, and then I'm helping in other areas. A lot's happening all at once. So your aura is filling up with light. And I also see that we're working at your brow chakra too, because it felt like it kind of messed with your discernment in a sense where you would question yourself over and over and question things. So they're helping you. This is going to help you to see clearly. Yeah. We're charging up your solar plexus here. It looks really good, and that braided energy is unwound. So that's lovely. And I'm checking your sacral. Your sacral feels a bit more depleted, so we'll charge that up, spending a little bit extra time on it. There also, I can see we're buffering out your aura a bit, so putting a thicker boundary on it. And I hear part of you like really um, assertively saying, like never again, like that, like don't ever do that to me ever again. Like you like had enough. Like this was so uncalled for. You're feeling that it took a lot of time and energy and undue stress on you, and you're basically like, no games, never again. So over the next few days, your sacral chakra is the one I would say to focus on charging up. Your solar plexus and heart are really strong. It really did knock out a lot of your own internal, like the relationship with ourself. We have our own relationship within ourself, and your sacral chakra feels like it's sad, like it felt defeated. So we're building that back up. So for that, if you want to introduce any orange foods into your diet, if you work with the mantra or the notes, the tones for the sacral chakra, you could do that. um, I believe it's D, and the mantra, uh, Let me get that for us. One moment. I don't have those memorized. But I was just looking at it last night. Let's see. Okay, VAM. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the mantra is VAM, VAM. And there's some really beautiful, just like on YouTube or Spotify, where have you, um, chakra mantra sessions you can listen to for meditation. So I would focus on the sacral for the next week and
Mm.
just getting that going again. And again, the color is orange. So anything that's orange, bringing that in. Um, your guides are bringing in this knowing of compassion, like they don't want you to be sad. In a sense, it feels like it got beat up like by your own thoughts, like you're questioning yourself on repeat. And so now it will be explaining to your chakra what happened, literally having conversation with yourself, explaining everything. And also it's a recommitment to yourself, they're saying. Like you're gonna be like, I won't doubt you again. You're good, you're amazing. Don't let others influence us and all of that. Cause it was just a lot. I mean, honestly, your sacral chakra like had no idea what just happened when that incident occurred because you were communicating with your voice, your heart, and your solar plexus. It was just like a bystanding chakra, just a bystander that got slimed or got taken out or whatever. It was like, it was witnessing the whole experience and then it shocked it. It was like, whoa, what did I just witness here? Which then made your chakra question itself if the other ones just took a beating. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, is there something wrong with me too? So it really went and through multiple emotions and perspectives and layers within yourself. But your guides are saying, look, you're really strong. You know why you're here and your purpose. So, this can be an opportunity for you to really honor it and feel, okay, why did my sacral chakra, why was it the one that had, this hit? And why am I anyways, just look into it, feel into it. How did it have you feel? And then if any prior wounds or insecurities come up, address them. They're saying you can come out even stronger by integrating the experience and really listening to the healing messages that come from it. So listen to your body and listen to the memories that come up. Your aura is about 80% full where we want it, and it's all of this yellow. And now they're bringing in green, blue, and purple. So, all the different colors of, the rainbow and our chakras to stabilize. And how I'm watching everything. And so, as I'm just still observing, how are you feeling?
I can feel it in my throat. Like as you were talking just now, it was like pulsating. Um, I, I'm feeling good, and I do feel like pressure kind of in that sacral area.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I started to kind of relate a lot of what you're saying. My main struggle the past couple of days, where it's left me in tears for like prolonged periods of time, just the sense that like I'm so lonely. I've really, really struggled with this sense of loneliness, not like with people close to me, but within the world,
Mm-hmm.
feeling very like I don't belong. And I was kind of at this point where I was in a downward spiral because it just felt like very hopeless and helpless to get out of that space. And then I was kind of beating myself up even more because I felt like I've done so much work up to this point to build that confidence. So then that confusion kind of came in, and yeah, I feel like this session was definitely needed for that.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I went through a period a few weeks or a month ago where similar, like feeling that loneliness, and I'm like, I don't understand this. Why? So working on our energetic health, but I think that it's a layering. I think there's a lot going on right now in the world, and here you're going through a big transition, and then to have this on top of it. So I'm hoping that it will stabilize and you'll start to feel back to yourself, maybe even better than you did before. That would be so wonderful. Um, how are you feeling like right now if you could just feel and do a scan of your body and your energy, Like maybe you mentioned you felt it in your throat and your sacral. How about your digestion? Does that?
I feel lighter.
Okay.
Like it felt very dense. Like for a long time now, it's felt very like just everything within my body, and it's felt very hard to get a full diaphragmatic breath. So during the session, like I kind of took a breath, and it felt like I could expand a little lighter and fuller than I could for a little while.
Awesome. Oh, that makes me happy. Yeah, with some of the energy that was lodged in that area, we were able to get it flowing and releasing. So that's probably why. So that's great. And your aura is looking really good now, like really amazing. We sealed that hole, patched it back up, so it will continue to heal. They're saying give yourself like 21 days. You're gonna feel so good. Way different than you did yesterday. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
During the session, what was interesting is I felt a lot of tingling all on the crown of my head, in my hands, like in my palms, and then on the bottoms of my feet. Those are like the main points that were really lighting up during.
Love that. Yeah. So those are the points where when we're like doing healing work and channeling or getting a download typically, so often we can receive energy from the crown, which is a higher intelligence, source, wisdom of our soul energy, and a lot of healing energy too. And then we can also get energy from earth that will come up our feet. So the tingling is typically those chakras opening and feel the energy flow. You can also, like, we send energy up and down in our crown and our feet. So, it's depending on that moment what you felt. But then the hands, if we're an energy therapist or a natural healer, then a lot of times as we're in this space and we're meditating or frequencies are coming in, we also channel in energy for ourselves and our hands will activate. And then that frequency will go out into your aura and charge it up. Or let's say if your body's full, like you've just got all the energy, you're completely full, then it will flow out your hands too. So that's really cool. I love that you shared that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm just looking at your aura. I mean, I think that you're definitely going to feel a strong sense of self confidence coming back online. And they're wanting you to do movement. Like I'm seeing you squatting and twisting at the waist and stretching. So, physical exercise, that's going to keep those chakras open and the energy pumping and flowing through. So, not only do we have the physical aspect and like all the endorphins and all of that, but the spiritual energy, the energy of your chakras and your aura, it's going to help amplify and build that up. And they just keep showing the word confidence. Like the word of the day is confidence. So I hope and I really think this is going to make such a difference. And I hope that as you go through each stage of coming back online and charging up and being more you, that it'll make sense. Like you'll start to integrate and little messages will come through to remind you. And so then if something like this happens in the future, hopefully it won't, but life happens. I mean, we're young, we've got many years to go. So, but you'll be able to see it and catch it before it spirals out. And
Mhm.
for those that are listening and just like if we don't know anything about energy at all, if we feel funny in a conversation, instead of taking it on initially and thinking, "Oh, then that must mean there's something wrong with my plan or what my goals were," instead just say, like, first of all, would that make even sense? Did that person really share anything with you that you really could take to heart and listen and question? But in this instance, it was more the energy. And so that's what leaves us unsettling because if you actually had something to analyze, we can ruminate with it and then come out with a decision, which will help us have clarity and we'll feel confident in that decision. But you really didn't get any of that opportunity. Like from what I saw in the vision, it was energy. And then it's like, well, what do I do with this? Oh my gosh. And so then we spiral. Um, so when that happens, stop and just analyze factually what just happened and how did you feel beforehand? How did you feel after? And really what changed? And if you can't pinpoint it, and if it's just an energetic thing, then it would help you to be like, oh, it was just the energy. Something I said didn't sit well with them. I picked it up. Now, do I identify with it or not? So, there'll be a lot of ways for you to process, and for listeners, anything similar that could happen in the future. But I would just say, like, really analyze it and stick up for yourself and say, do I really need to suffer with this? Like, what in the world? I just felt like I got dumped on energetically, and I don't even know if it's mine.
Mhm.
So, a lot of discernment there, which they did work with your third eye. So, I think you'll be able to start to notice things, yeah, as they come along. But your aura is looking strong, and to that, you will also start to be able to sense a little bit more before things occur. You know, like when you start to feel the conversation shifting, it's like, okay, what's that about? So you get a little heads up, and not only through conversations, but also, let's say you're driving and you're like, oh, I got this vibe. I have to really pay attention right here. And then, you go down the road a little bit further and, like, there was an accident or somebody's crossing the street, that kind of thing. So basically, a strong, bright aura is going to help you see energy, sense vibrations before you physically interact in that moment of space or physical location. Um, but yeah, so any questions for me?
It's like blowing my mind you use that as an example because just this past Friday, um, that literally happened where I passed through this part of an intersection and I got this really, really like deep sense that I needed to be careful. And then about an hour later, I passed through and there was a horrible accident. Like a car
Mm.
was overturned on a median and right in that same spot. So it's funny you brought that example up because that happened.
Wow, I just got full body chills. Wow. Yeah, they were like, this is a place today where something can happen, so be careful. Yeah, exactly. So, well, continue to trust those, gut instincts and the little messages from our guides and angels. So it's all intertwined. I think that we use our clair senses and our intuition, and we also have our team watching out for us to give us little heads up. So yeah, that is funny. They use that example because that came through from them. So yeah. Well, thank you so much, sweetie. So just take the day. Any thoughts or memories, or like you're probably going to continue processing, but
Mhm.
it'll be a really healing experience. Not where you're tearing yourself down. It will just be the aha. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And with every, oh, that makes sense moment, you're going to feel your energy strengthening for
Mhm.
sure. So yeah, pulling more of your soul in, your own codes and your confidence, because that's the word of the day, confidence. So,
Yeah, I planned on going to the gym after this. Just it's supposed to be my like rest day, but I'm going just to be do mobility and stretching. So it's
perfect.
perfect advice. And my oracle card today from Ask an Angel was Archangel Raphael, and it was health. And it was about all of the different aspects of health and to look at each aspect, the physical, energetic, emotional, and once you fix one, like the others aspects of health will follow. So it's on point for today.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yes, it is. Absolutely.
I feel like this brought so much closure to because like you said, it was just this like whirlwind I've been in that's been building up, and it's just like getting this information is kind of like I'm not going crazy. It's not just for no reason. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I love that so much. I'm glad that it can help with the clarity. Sometimes the clarity is all we need for that healing to just boom. And I really don't think it's going to be like it could happen overnight for you. Like you're probably feeling it now. So yeah,
yeah, like I said,
yeah.
I can breathe easier. And I felt most of my pressure in my head when you said it was working on the brow chakra. So I could feel like my head feels clearer, my body feels lighter. Like I'm
Oh,
already,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. They were pulling stuff out of your thoughts. So that's wonderful. All right, love. Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm so happy to be working with you again.
Oh yeah, likewise. And good luck. I'm excited for you. I see beautiful things coming your way with your business. So, yeah, for
Thank you.
sure. You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
Yes. All right. Well, you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
And so I want to thank all of our listeners and viewers for joining us here on the Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast. And we'll see you all again in the very near future.